This is Point Black coming in hard and off the card today. You know what I'm saying? Coming with the facts to crack their back and the heat to the damn street. We coming with that flow straight from the barrio, and we coming with that with with, with them facts to crack their back. This is PBNN Point Black National News, the late edition. You know what I'm saying? So today, we're looking at a lot of things, but before we proceed, I got to give a shout out to my man, Sarah Sultan Seti, the general. You know what I'm saying? General Seti. You know what I'm saying? I hope people are getting over there to his Patreon account and joining up in his college and getting your facts on, getting your history on, and all kinds of good stuff that's good for the mentality in this time of need based on these other people digging into their stuff and it's not real. So you get over there to SETI, university, and you get your knowledge on. And like I say, don't forget the Pharaoh. Pharaoh's always there, you know what I'm saying, doing them investigative reports, hitting it hard, breaking them down off their card, and letting them know that there's somebody always watching. So the Pharaoh also has a channel where you can go on there and advertise your business as black people and put your businesses up there and get a lot of stuff done in advertising your business based on, you know, a platform that Pharaoh has up, and I hope he still do, has it up where black people can advertise their business and all type of stuff, and we can connect and do business with each other on a more constant commerce level. You know what I'm saying? Because we should be conversing with each other and not just fighting against each other over petty stuff based on trying to live a life that you see and grew up with from someone else. So it's important that we understand that. Now the other day we was talking about, what I'm saying, the executive order, whatever they had, or whatever law they had, based on a media being able to spread propaganda or doctor propaganda and cover propaganda up, once it has done its effect, and try to rearrange and shame and switch and this and that and the third to make whatever they're trying to say true, but it's still propaganda. You know what I'm saying? They misinform lies, you know what I'm saying, or act of overly partisan. You see what I'm saying? So we got to understand that. You know what I'm saying? That means we have to know who all is involved based on the partisan level. You know what I'm saying? This way we understand in the case that with Time versus Sullivan, how, they were being covered by the government or by law to be able to spread propaganda and get away with it. We've got to cut that out. Facts is what we're looking for. No one is looking for a bunch of people to pull a stunt and then use the news media and everybody else, knowing that the other people have no access to understanding or even looking at things like what we call what we call uh, uh, straight hardcore evidence and experiment to be able to tell whether something is true or not. You know what I'm saying? Only going off the words of others based on them facts. You see what I'm saying? Because when most people look up facts, they don't really go to a laboratory and do so. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for most of us and all of us. Most people will go to Google, internet, and different places like that and may get some information. You see what I'm saying? But they can also be down with with the bullshit. So therefore, you still won't get information, and then they even can channel the website where you do not get to the type of people or know how to get to the people or may even know they exist up there until you run across it. So basically, you still have a media. Then the same thing go with the news. when you have the news, you have all type of people like Candace Owens and Don Lemon and all kinds of different people up there that's on their payroll and on their Luciferian garbage. And they're doing the same thing, covering up the media to make it look good and make everybody else look like a liar. You know what I'm saying? And then being covered and not being able to be sued, but they can be sued because they need to remove that 1960 law, covering these people for spreading and persecute them for spreading propaganda and then holding down the people who may have good information. Now, there's a lot of people may have a bunch of bullshit information, or they might have a lot of information that is basically radical, and they doing all this kind of stuff. We don't need that type of information because that information is no good. You see a lot of people signing papers, in front of pictures of symbolizations of certain things that's coming up now, and people saying this and the third, saying even when we look at the Jim Crow era. So we have to look at these people because they're on their same plans. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the misinformation lies or acts of overly partisan. And that's a fact. You know what I mean? So now if Biden, can't manage his own borders, how can we trust anything he do or say? Is the question. You know what I mean? Same for world leaders. All world leaders, or if they call themselves that. Anyway, if he cannot manage his own borders, how can we possibly see or take anything this man say seriously? You know what I'm saying? To me, To me, he's no good with foreign policy, as we see. You know what I'm saying? He's no good with foreign policy. As a leader, when you look at it, talking, then when it came to even when he was dealing with the border situation that he was speaking on, he said something about somebody asked him a question about getting inside and seeing what's going on with the children in cramped areas and so on. And his response to that was, not a good one at all. He's talking about as soon as he can implement what he wants to do at the border faculty, he'll let the media in or whoever needs to go in and do the inspection. That's a poor answer. And if you really look into what I just said, you would see it's one. And it's a very tricky statement. You know what I mean? Not a good one at all for various reasons. I'm not going to get into them all, but for various reasons. You know what I mean? How are you going to say something like that when you have a lot of people who may have even family members there that you promised to let them in and then you change your mind? You know what I'm saying? When Trump had an implemented plan that would organize this thing and stop the rush on the border, you come in and say that you're going to take down everything you want to dismantle like a little child. I got to break your dolly house down. I got to move the blocks. The blocks are mine, man. Like a child. And he really made y'all look like one. So people got to start waking up to what's going on. And to me, the reason why Biden don't want to let anybody in, they're talking about until he implement his plan. Yeah, because Biden don't want the world to see the garbage he did. That's why. Why would you have a reason not to let people go in there and inspect anything at all? Doesn't make sense to me. You see what I'm saying? Doesn't make sense to me. We're talking about a human right crisis. And he's talking about, I'll let you in as soon as I implement the plans I want to implement down there in the faculties, and then I'll let you all in the faculties. That's not a good answer. You know what I mean? Talking about then he's going to let the media in. That don't sound good, and it sounds very criminal. You know what I mean? Like I said, he don't want people to see the garbage he's doing there. You know what I'm saying? And he did. That caused this to happen. So he's going to, to me, he's going to try to hide the truth, knowing if he lets the media in, you know what I mean? If he lets the media in, he will be exposed. He will be exposed. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to question the people as they have done already. You know what I'm saying? On the other side of the border. You know what I'm saying? He'll be exposed. And the people will tell the media who fault it really is. That's why he's barring the media. Because all their plans they had will be exposed. And he don't want that with his crazy tail. And that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? So Biden ain't fooling anybody with that garbage. You know what I mean? He ain't fooling nobody with that. And that's the straight fact, because when we look at some of the people that is stuck on the other side of the border that probably came in and then had to get sent back, but they can't go back to their country, so they're sitting on the other side of the border, by the bridges and shit trying to come through. You know what I'm saying? And one of the people was I think her name is Belinda D Dois Lopez or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm not sure the name. I hope I'm not messing the sister name up. But she was on the other side, and the media was speaking to her, and she said she have not eaten for days. While she talking to the media, she said, "Sorry, I'm shaking." You know what I'm saying? And that's not good. You know what I mean? She was shaking and scared and everything going on, shaking white. You know what I'm saying? It's not good. But she spoke to the reporters on the matter, you know what I'm saying? And she spoke to the reporters on the other side of the border. She said, I came because Mr. Biden, she said, end quote, you know what I'm saying, that he was going to give us, uh, he was going to give us for 100 days the opportunity to enter into America. She said, when I fully was informed that Biden had actually said that, you know what I'm saying, that he would suspend the deportation, you know what I'm saying, for 100 days, you know what I'm saying, you know, deportation for 100 days, but had warned, I think he had warned, I think he said would-be immigrants, which probably mean Coyote and all these different cartels that were trying to slide in under the gun. Basically, when you have an open border, this is going to happen. That was expected, and I think Biden knew full well that's what he wanted to bring in. You know what I'm saying? As we see on Channel 12 News today. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That he said would-be migrants not to come to the U.S. border, you know what I'm saying, at all. You know what I'm saying? So she said the president should have had more compassion, you know what I'm saying, as to what had happened based on his own words that made this thing happen. The Biden administration has so far, even on other races of people, has so far, the Biden administration has deported more Haitians in a few weeks, you know what I'm saying, than Trump administration did in a whole year. So while he was talking, and then using, I think article title, or the title under the law, Title 42. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why he would do that when he was speaking all this unity and all this good stuff. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. So his foreign policy and border stuff, he just basically picked up from Trump and running with it. But at the same time, making promises to the people and not keeping them based on the fact that he knows that it's not right for you to bring in to a country all these people, you know, and they should be working on why it is that they are doing that. Because don't act like they have not been involved in those people's country, corrupting a country for years, working their little plan. for years and think that nobody knows that, you know. Now, jumping subject, we're looking at the situation with the officers. The immunity has been brought down. The immunity has been brought down. But I say to that the officers need to be need to be they need to do they need to be more understanding of the neighborhoods in which they police. To do and to overstand. They need to be to do and to overstand their job. That's number one. It's basically that we have seen that. You know what I'm saying? Because transparency is everything when we look at it, but to a degree, you see. Because if you have all the time full transparency based on an investigation, that sometimes can scrupulate an investigation in certain forms. So transparency is good, you know what I'm saying, body cams and so that's good, but at the same time, the transparency to a degree. You know what I'm saying? Same for the department mandates, you know what I'm saying, with true oversight, you know what I'm saying, on both sides. You see? You can do oversights on the cops, but you've got to do oversight on the people too. Because just like a person is innocent before, and so forth, and then you are accusing him of crime, or he has done something to spark the crime, to escalate to that type of thing. We need to know both sides. We need to know what happened on the officer side, and we need to know what happened on the people who got either shot or lost their life or whatever. We need to know that. So we need to understand that oversight has to be on both sides in a full investigation into the matter. Now, and it's not just for the police to be oversighted. It's for everyone else, and everything will be good. That way now we know whose fault it is. We know, was it excessive or over excessive, and so forth. But at the same time, we have to understand that people have to live. The innocent people who are not committing any crime, you see, who are just living their life, not committing no crime, not in no accident, not doing nothing wrong, trying to be an upward citizen based on their life and living, should not be persecuted, you know what I'm saying, in a way that they become a criminal. That has to stop. Now if a person have no insurance, that's one thing, we understand that. But he shouldn't end up necessarily in jail for 10 weeks, 3 months, or a year, unless it is consecutive in a sense. But at the same time, to just be stopping people and scaring the daylights out of people who don't do anything really, is kind of unfair. So we need to understand that we must weed out the bad apples. You know what I'm saying? Who think they are above the law. They are above the law, and bring good police work to the neighborhood. There must be respect amongst police and the people. That's a fact. Especially if I was the president of the United States. You would have to understand that. There must be respect between. Look, I don't care about the history of all that garbage they'll be doing. But when it comes to good police work that we can see with our own eyes, we need to have some compassion. Number one, same as the lady asked for Biden. We need some compassion, and we need good police work and strong and good protective police work. But at the same time, understanding and respect in a communication with the American people that are Americans. Now, the black people have been here for years, and we know the garbage that went on. But it's time for the police officers to start to understand this. We have to move forward. We have to move forward. You know what I mean? It's time for us to start getting that together because you're the first line of the defense based on people's lives that they call you and you respond. That's a great job. But for you to be manipulated by certain groups of people and then you go out and do certain things to certain people because you're friends with them and they give you a little book, yeah, I want you to take the little book, and you go do that, and it's uncovered that you are doing that, then we have to check you because that's not your job. You see, you see, you see, to take personal interest in certain cousins, family, and friends who may have a little beef in the neighborhood over here, living with some people, and you want to check that. You see, and next thing you know, you cause that man, innocent man, to be sitting in somebody's prison for a 10-year-old ticket. That is unnecessary and a waste of the system and the government and the money time because of racist behavior. hmm We need good police work. This is what the people see. So a mandate and oversight is overstandable. You know what I'm saying? And transparency, like I said, in the division of what the crime may be or whatever, needs to have some form of transparency. So we understand that the person is arrested, whatever, and he's not hurt or dies in your custody. Come on now. That's point blank and a fact. So we have a lot of straightening up to do. And why is Biden trying to, fly these people to, the other side of the border? What's up with that? All the way to Canada. Those people should be kept where they are and not fly anywhere to Canada or anywhere else because the facility in the border is overrun. You're going to fly them all the way to the Canadian border? Leave those people at the border where it is and straighten out what's going on in their country. Because we know who the people in the country is doing to the people that who they are working for to drive those people over here. You know what I'm saying? So they need to calm down with that. You know what I'm saying? There's a Republican that do not support that. I forgot the Republican's name, but he do not support that at all. And he threatens legal action to stop this madness because they shouldn't be taking the people anywhere from that border. You know what I'm saying? You should leave them where they're at and process the situation as according as we go to make sure that, those people, if they return home, can return to it and not get hurt. Any other time, you up in there with Chiquita Banana. You know what I'm saying? School of Americas. You know what I'm saying? You need to go in there and do that again and make sure but this time make sure you straighten it out because you're acting stupid. And that's a fact. After years of Democratic garbage weakening, you know what I'm saying? Weakening America as a whole, you know what I'm saying, from the inside out. Biden is coming with an overload. And then prior to that, you know what I'm saying, they weakened the people in South America because of all kinds of different governments and socialism and all kinds of foolishness and the people taking the people money and doing all kinds of crazy garbage. Even in Laredo, you know what I'm saying, sex trafficking and carrying on and child sacrifice, Lord knows, blood flying left and blood flying right. We got to quell these type of behavior on planet Earth. You know, after you weaken South America and America itself from the inside out, Biden is coming with an overload. Can you imagine that? What kind of move is that? That's the question. What kind of move was that you would come with an overload? It's the question. Is what we need to ask and so on. You know what I'm saying? Because it is so wrong. What is so wrong in South America that the people cannot find peace, safety, good wealth, and prosperity? This is what I'm asking. What is so bad in their country is what we need to ask Joe Biden. What is so bad in their country that those people would not want to stay in their country and enjoy the fruits of the labor and building and processing and going on with good wealth and prosperity for their people and family? Does it make sense? You know what I mean? We must look at who is pushing on both sides and who they are working for. You know what I mean? Because if you look at statistically, you know what I mean, if 7% of the oil comes from the Gulf of Mexico, where's the wealth to do for the people? That the people flee for their lives. You know what I'm saying? That the people literally flee their country is the question. There, there's two sides to every story. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? There's more to this than meets the eye. And that's a fact. You know what I mean? And we need to look into that a little more deeper. You know what I'm saying? There's more to this than meets the eye on both sides. You know what I'm saying? It's time to wake up here and stop playing around. You know what I mean? Now I look at Biden, you know what I'm saying, switching subject on his first press conference, and it looks like he needs to get a grip somehow. I don't know what seems to be his problem and why, his nerves must can't take much. But he needs to get a grip. You know what I mean? He needs to get a grip on his foreign policy questions, and that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? He was stuck on the facts, if you ask me. Same as Psaki, you know what I'm saying? When you talk to her, using the White House guidance and what they call points, talking points. You know what I mean? I call it cue cards. Yeah, I call them cue cards, you know what I mean? In the hood, we call them cue card. Can I cue it up? And so on. Cue cards pre-set up, with the facts. And basically that's what he did. You know what I mean? So I don't understand what Biden is really doing. Because when you look at the whole thing, most people are basically, like Trump and them, they'll really basically, freestyle, even if, and move on. So I don't understand why he was reading cue cards and all these different things and prearranging, because I guess he don't want to fumble. But it goes to show they need to look into more to that. You know what I'm saying? They need to look into more than that, because he should have had a more better understanding, you know what I'm saying, on some things. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact. Because he fell apart to me. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to certain things, we're beginning to see some things on that. But we're gonna leave that alone for now, and I'll be getting back to that. You know what I'm saying? So now we're looking at Nancy Pelosi, switching subject with her crazy tail, jumping on her head. She's trying to overturn an election result in Iowa congressional election. You know what I mean? Which doesn't make sense. Now, this is what I'm talking about with Pelosi. Talking about Trump She's such a yo. Something wrong with that lady for real. She need to go sit down for real. But Pelosi up there talking about Trump. How you gonna talk about Trump? A demon Democrat, I guess, loser in a tight race, yeah, in Iowa House in an Iowa House race is asking for a recount. But they talking about Trump today, baby. You know what I'm saying? And then Pelosi had a nerve to make a statement. You know what I mean? Which sent me for a little loop. You know what I mean? She made a statement when Pelosi said, "I have the authority." She had the authority to do so and to overturn the election in Iowa. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She had the authority to lie too, as well, which she is very good at. When I look at her sometimes, you know what I mean. Now I see New York on the rollout treatment passport chip ID thing. So it's like Bill Gates, the chip and ID. Now you can use the cell phone. You know, they have the passport chip and ID thing coming out. You know what I'm saying? Just like David Rockefeller had back in the early days, coming coming in. Now that 1.8 mil, I guess, and more, and many more. You know what I'm saying? And more have been, treated. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean. Pick up all code. You know what I'm saying? They even coming out with a nasal spray, you know what I'm saying, which is good, you know. Coming out with a nasal spray. Coming on in, you know. What's next is the question. Yeah, the bombardier, something, you know what I mean? Because they're always coming up with something. You know what I'm saying? Biden is not doing right